First up, our special focus on the battle for Tamil Nadu, the political spirit Christmas season in pole-bound Tamil Nadu, and the quest is to consolidate the minority vote. Actor Vijay, who hails from the Christian community but has a fan following across the spectrum, held a massive Christmas gathering at Mamallapuram today just outside of Chennai. This comes just days after MK Stalin decided to move out of the traditional celebrations in Chennai, Vasudha, and held a massive Christmas gathering at Tirunelveli in southern Tamil Nadu. Districts of Kanyakumari, Tirunelveli, Thoothukudi have a decisive population of Christians. While both the Christian and Muslim vote are considered a DMK Congress bastion so far, the arrival of Vijay, Vasudha, could threaten the ruling party's arithmetic.
That's right, Veera. Tamil Nadu is estimated to have around 6% Christian population and 5.9% population of Muslims. And while the AIDMK alliance with the BJP helped the DMK Congress consolidate the minority vote, Vijay's entry as a third force could upset the DMK's arithmetic. The key focus is to consolidate Christian vote in the southern districts of Tamil Nadu and the Muslim vote in areas such as Ramanathapuram and Vellore. The DMK's hard stand on the Thirupparankundram issue is also aimed at consolidating the minority vote, according to many observers. So it's clear, Veera, that this Christmas and New Year's, it's all about gearing up for the 2026 battle.
நாமளும் தமிழக வெற்றிக் கழகமும் சமூக சமய நல்லிணக்கத்தை பாதுகாக்கிறதுல 100% உறுதியா இருப்போம். அதில் எந்த விதமான ஒரு காம்ப்ரமைஸும் இருக்கவே இருக்காது. அதனால தான் நம்மளுடைய கொள்கைகளுக்கு மதச்சார்பற்ற சமூக நீதி கொள்கைகள்னு பேர் வச்சதே இந்த உறுதினால தான்.
நீங்கள் ஒரு தீபாவளிக்கு விழா எடுத்துக்கொண்டால் அதுக்கப்புறம் இதையும் செய்தால் நீங்க மத சார்பை சொல்ல முடியும். தீபாவளிக்கு வாழ்த்து சொல்ல முடியாதவர், தீபாவளி விழாவை கொண்டாடாதவர் வீட்டுக்குள்ள மட்டும் கொண்டாடுவாங்க. ஆனால் வெளியில இப்படி ஒரு வெளி வேஷம், இப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு ஆட்சி இருக்கக்கூடாது என்பதுதான் இன்றைக்கு தமிழக மக்கள் மட்டுமல்ல தேசிய ஜனநாயக கூட்டணிக்கு உருவாகி இருக்கிறது.
Meanwhile, Veera, the Congress party, which is negotiating for more seats than 2021 with the DMK, is now making a pitch for power sharing if the DMK-led alliance comes to power. The DMK very uncomfortable with such optics as it could affect the image of stability.
That's right, Vasudha. The DMK contested 173 seats last time and gave 25 to the Congress. Now, pressure on it to part with more seats could hurt the DMK's own chances of a clear majority, and it can't afford those kind of optics as you just mentioned. Plus, the DMK has a 14-party alliance, Vasudha, and seat-sharing talks is a nightmare for the party, according to some observers, especially as Vijay offers smaller parties bargaining power. Listen in to the AICC in charge for Tamil Nadu, Girish Chodankar, before we head into our first panel discussion this evening.
We will have full-fledged manifesto committee. We will have full-fledged our vision for Tamil Nadu. And our leaders will come to Tamil Nadu and they will announce the various guarantees that what we are doing in the various states just before the elections. And then naturally, to fulfill those promises that we are making in the manifesto, to fulfill the vision that we have for Tamil Nadu, and to fulfill those guarantees, naturally we have to be the part of the government.
Well, so all heating up as we head into the new year in Tamil Nadu politics. Vasudha, as we head up to 2026 Tamil Nadu, a crucial election for multiple reasons. Joining us this evening, Salem Dharanitharan of the DMK. He'll join us in a bit from now. Thenmozhi Prasanna of the TVK. Kovai Satyan of the AIDMK, who's just filed his applications to contest with his party today. Political analyst Sumant Raman and NDTV Sam Daniel as well joins us. Thanks to all of you for being here with us. My first question, let me go to Sam Daniel very briefly. Sam, isn't there a sense of insecurity and nervousness over the minority vote in the DMK? The TVK also in the quest for that minority vote? And also, is seat-sharing talks with the Congress going to be the DMK's biggest nightmare this new year?
The second question, yes, that's going to be the biggest nightmare, but the Congress tacitly taking into account the possibility of shaking hands with Vijay is certainly upping its ante in the sense of pitching for more seats and power sharing in Tamil Nadu. In terms of the votes of minorities, yes, Vijay has in a sense come in as a challenger, that many could see him as a promising star in the minorities community and could decide to vote for him, particularly the Gen Z. But the church is quite cautious, Viraragu, saying in today's meeting there was not a single serving bishop or archbishop from the mainstream church attended. And that's a strong signal that it's a gamble for them. They're not taking him lightly, but they're not taking him seriously as well. And they do not want the minorities' votes to get split and help the BJP in that sense in Tamil Nadu. So they are treading very cautiously, and the fact that not many sitting serving bishops or archbishops attended that, there lies the untold message in that sense.
Going to be many outreach programs is what I hear, even from the NDA side. Tenmoi Prasanna, the minorities will ask a question, why did Vijay not really speak about Thirupparankundram? This is what even DMK is saying. What do you think the minority community in Tamil Nadu should be thinking to vote for you? Because clearly they would want to vote for anything that brings them stability, governance, and like Sam said, may really want to defeat the BJP.
Yeah, Thirupparankundram issue, it is clearly a staged thing by DMK and the other party. We see like that, and the people also seeing like that, because they had like 3 days of time. Why they waited 3 days after the court verdict, and they were waiting for 3 more days, and then they even made the devotees or like all the crowd to mobilize to the temple till 6 p.m. and then they announced that they are not going to allow this. So this is all part of their plan. They could have gone to court next day that we are not going to do that, but they didn't do that. They waited for 3 days to divert the Chennai flood and all other issues which happening in Tamil Nadu.
But madam, what about your party's stand on the issue? That's the issue that's been raised by the DMK.
Why they are the government, they have to take the call on time, and they should have done something for the more than 20 to 25 years. There is no such more communal riots are happening in Tamil Nadu, but why this is happening now? They do have intelligence, and they do have all the part of government.
Your leader can at least talk about it, right? Pick one side over the other, but he needs to talk about an issue which has actually captured the imagination of the state.
We are openly saying we follow social justice ideologies, and we always stand with all people religions belief. So we are not going to hurt anyone's belief. That is what our leader also sent a strong message, that we are secular and all those things. It is planned by DMK.
But there would be questions raised on that particular issue. But before I go to Kovai Satyan, and I want to go to Kovai Satyan next, but before that, I believe Salem Dharnitharan has joined us. Salem Dharnitharan, I began this discussion by asking Sam Daniel, isn't the DMK a sense of nervousness and insecurity about the minority vote with TVK coming into the fray? And also, in this coming new year, is your biggest nightmare going to be seat sharing talks, especially with the Congress and your other 13 allies? Salem Dharnitharan, did you hear my question? Salem Dharnitharan's internet seems to be in trouble, Vasudha. Let's go to Kovai Satyan. Kovai Satyan, you've applied for your ticket today. All the very best. But what's the sense? The AIDMK BJP alliance means that you've forgone the minority vote, the AIDMK?
Yeah, thanks. But that's a myth peddled by our rival DMK. When they were an ally in 1999, Karunanidhi said there is a myth that BJP are against minorities, and we have the responsibility to bust that myth. So everybody understands how this ecosystem works whenever somebody comes on board, particularly with BJP. But the perception that DMK alliance is stronger and mightier is thrashed long back. 3 parties have lost their recognition and the symbol. And Congress opening their doors with TVK has sent out a clear signal that DMK is not in a position to take the confidence of his major ally Congress at the moment. And the elevation of Mr. Udayanidhi, who is the prince, has not gone well with many of the seniors in the party. So it's a ticking time bomb You never know when it's going to blast. So all is not well with DMK. The boat is sinking fast. But their claim that they are the custodians of minorities is getting trashed day by day. We've been saying from day one that Vijay's entry is a direct threat to DMK and their hopes to crown Udayinidhi, because he's definitely taken a major vote share in the minority segment, which was very evident with the recent events that is unfolding in front of us. So the theory that Vijay is going to take away the anti-incumbency of AIDMK is also busted long back.
Okay.
So we are glad to see that the sinking ship DMK is sinking faster than ever.
Okay. Sumant Raman, I was in Erode recently covering the rally of Vijay, and I saw a lot of Muslim youngsters attending the rally, and they were very enthusiastic, and they were all Vijay fans, and they were interested in his politics. Nobody wanted to come on camera, though, none of these Muslim youngsters. I want to understand from you, what kind of impact will Vijay have on the minority communities, especially the Muslims and the Christians, or this is an outreach that could also be seen as a sense of assurance or just a courtesy thing?
Look, Vasudha, there is no doubt that Vijay will have an impact, particularly on the Christian vote. I mean, I don't really go with this view that serving bishops were not there and therefore there will be no impact, because he very clearly, today's event was definitely targeted, because many of the speakers on stage themselves exhorted people, they said he is going to be the next chief minister and we will stand by him. So I think that will definitely have some impact on the Christian vote. The Muslim vote, I'm still not too sure, simply because they get their instructions from the Jamaat and so on, and they tend to follow it in a much stricter fashion than perhaps some of the Christian voters who do. So that they may still stick with the DMK largely. Here, the problem is any erosion of the minority vote happens almost entirely at the cost of the DMK. Because it's not DMK, like, there will be minority votes, some will be from DMK, some will be from AIADMK. It is not that way. The minorities vote overwhelmingly for one side, and any erosion that happens for Vijay will, in favor of Vijay, will necessarily hit the DMK. Now, whether that is going to be big or small is the only debate. But the minority is estimated to be around 15-16%. Unofficially, it is believed to be closer to 20%. 20% vote is huge. 90% of that 20%.
And also one that is concentrated in certain districts. The way I would see this, Sumant Raman, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just going to throw a quick proposition to both Sam Daniel, Vasudha and Sumant Raman very quickly, is that as far as Vijay's vote base is concerned, the core of his vote and the large chunk of his vote would be largely the AIADMK vote that he would take, the one that was anti-DMK in nature, and where he would hurt the DMK the most would be possibly with the minority and Dalit vote, and that's the key concern for the DMK, and what should be the key concern for the AIADMK. Sam Daniel.
Well, that's the concern for the DMK, but that's why they had that show of strength in southern Tamil Nadu, and they do not want to send any kind of wrong perception that the church is in any way backing Vijay for that sense. But youngsters, yes, on their own they may decide to vote in favor of Vijay, being as a fan and in that sense. But what will be the official position of the church? The understanding is that they're very cautious.
Will be very important. But Vasudha, I think really the question then is about what about the smaller allies? Will Vijay be able to galvanize smaller allies to create a sense of credibility in terms of an alliance? And I think that's perhaps the question to Tenmuri Prasanna, right?
But Veera, I have a very different understanding of these things. In my visits to Tamil Nadu over the past few months, I've realized that a lot of people who have voted for the DMK, especially youngsters like Sam Daniel pointed out, are now interested in looking at Vijay's politics. I'm not really sure if they're going to vote for him, but I did find a lot of people who said that they voted for the DMK. In fact, this whole group of lawyers that I met in the Trichy rally, they were very clear that we voted for the DMK, we've given a chance to AIDMK, but this time we want to give a chance to Vijay. But yes, the demographic is under 40, so that remains a condition there.
But Tenmuri Prasanna, isn't your key challenge going to be about getting alliances and allies? How far has the TVK progressed on that? Because there is grapevine that says that you are in talks with parties, but nothing concrete seems to be emerging.
You will get to see in January and all those things. So it is too early to say, and our high command will give all those things. So like you said, like not only particular age or demographics, like people all over Tamil Nadu have love towards our TVK chief, and they will sure vote for him, and they are seeing him as an alternate. So the question is how the, like why the minority should support you. The question came.
Right.
So we stand with minorities in Waqf amendment, and we have stand with like the people who were like opposing the SIR if their vote rights are going on, all those things. So we are always clearly with people. Our TVK chief always supports people, and people have seen that. That is why Vasudha, when you go out and see the people, they were clearly saying like,
I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Termori Prasanna. Vasudha, I believe Salem Dharanitharan is finally back online with us. Salem Dharanitharan, everyone has finished speaking. Are you extremely worried? Is your biggest nightmare, is your party's biggest nightmare what the Congress is going to ask, both in terms of seats? They've already indicated that they want a share of power if your alliance comes to power. Is that going to be your biggest nightmare as the DMK tries to keep a 14-party alliance together?
First of all, there is no problem in DMK's alliance. It's intact from 2019 elections. As my leader says, an ideological election, not for winning elections, but for ideological reasons. Unlike other alliance of BJP or DMK, which are opportune in nature to win elections. And even now, yesterday, the BJP president was seen that asking Vijay to join their fold, or asking other alliance partners to join, which means they're not confident. DMK is not asking other alliance parties to join. Whoever wants to join, if my leader is happy, he will take them in if it fits with the ideology. If not, he won't. But we are not calling for anyone in the alliance, and DMK and Congress alliance goes forward to 2004. Maybe in between there was a small hiatus for about a year in 2014 to 15. But apart from this, the alliance is strongly intact. There is no problem with the Congress. It's only this created by few people who want to create
share of power in the government. The Congress AICC General Secretary in charge has said that they are happy to give suggestions for manifesto, but to fulfill that, they need to be part of a government. Is the DMK open for that?
See, all this decision will be taken by my leader. But as of now, there is no friction in in Congress DMK alliance. In fact, I'll go further and say Rahul Gandhi sees my chief minister, my party leader, as his elder brother. Yes, time and again reiterated that it was my chief minister in 2019 who for the first time announced Rahul Gandhi as the prime minister candidate before the elections, and the same thing during the 24 election.
Right.
So, in that being the case, why will the Congress will even imagine to leave the DMK? In fact, in the minds of my leader as well as in Rahul Gandhi, both Congress and DMK are vetted, and no divorce is possible.
So you're saying this
whoever wants to say, they can say what?
This is all muscle flexing. Kovai Satya, and there's also another party that wants to be part of the government. The BJP has made it very clear that if AIDMK-led alliance comes to power, they will want, they would want important portfolios. But at a time like this, when minority vote is being, being discussed, do you think that the BJP is a liability in a state like Tamil Nadu? Because today I was listening to MK Stalin's speech, and he has made it clear that it's the DMK that is stalling the BJP and protecting the minorities. With a narrative like that, how does the AIDMK, how are you looking at going forward?
Vasudha, as you rightly said, it's a narrative and they're desperate to build a perception around it. The numbers will speak for itself. So far, Tamil Nadu people are given a mandate for a party with a thumping victory. When it comes to AIDMK, we have always formed the government on our own merits and strengths. So that theory comes only after the election results are out. But having said that, alliance is for opportunity when it comes to election scenario. If everybody wants to say that we are ideologically the same, we have the same ideology, then what is the need for a different party names? So it is a laughable stock when somebody says that we are ideologically the same even when the elections are around the corner. DMK boat is sinking faster. And with Udaynidhi being pushed in the front, all I can tell you is it might explode before the elections by sections of seniors who are unhappy, or it may be after the elections.
Okay.
So the end for DMK
Quick
is
response from Salem Dharanitharan before I get the last
all
one
about
from
AIDMK forming the government, not DMK.
All right.
I would like to reiterate one simple point that I'd like to reiterate one simple point that AIDMK should remember that in the 2024 election, at least in 10 constituencies, AIDMK was in the third place. And some constituencies even lost their deposit. So ADMK's vote share in the 2024 election is historical low. Or rather, on the contrary, DMK's vote share in 2019 was historical high. 2024 was also one of the highest. So vote share has drastically increased.
Sumant Raman, last word from you
even
in terms of
2011,
how you see this, both in terms of seat sharing for the DMK-led alliance and also in terms of the quest and the battle, which I think is crucial for the minority vote.
It's the assembly elections which are round.
First of all, as far as the seat sharing is concerned, I don't foresee any major issue. The Congress will make some noise, but eventually they will settle down. Their target is 29, not 26, and therefore they cannot afford to antagonize the DMK. DMK is the second largest party.
You're not saying in terms of number of seats, are you? Their target is not 25 and 29. You're saying in terms of number of seats? No, you're talking in terms of 29 and 29.
No, in terms of number of seats, it is going to be exactly the same that they got last time. Maybe one or two this way, that way, but certainly not drastically upping the number of seats. They are not going to have a share of power because the way the DMK functions is very clear. They will not be willing to share power, and that has been made very clear. The Congress has meekly accepted it. So eventually, if push comes to shove, Mr. Stalin and Mr. Rahul Gandhi will have a conversation and sort it out. So that's not going to be a problem. But they face a serious crisis because of Vijay. And I agree with Vasudha on that point. The original thinking was the bulk of the vote which will go to Vijay is anti-DMK vote. On the ground, that doesn't appear to be the case. It's an equally large chunk of DMK vote, possibly a larger chunk of the DMK vote that is going to Vijay because of the Gen Z crowd and particularly the movement from the minority. So largely it's a DMK vote which is seen shifting to Vijay, which could spell big trouble for the DMK alliance.
Oh, that's a very important point there, Vasudha. Of course, we will be tracking very closely all the rallies. Tenmuri Prasanna, Kovai Satyan, Salem Dharanitharan and Sumant Raman, thanks very much for joining us. Expect to see you all very, very often in the coming new year in 2026. Please be available for NDTV at all times because we never know when news is going to break. That's going to be relevant to Tamil Nadu in 2026.
And all the best to Kovai Satyan and hoping that he manages to get the ticket first.
Thank you so much. Wishing you everyone in advance Happy New Year.
Right. Thanks very much. Wish all four of you very, very happy New Year in advance, Vasudha.